Because I want to be great.
And you're not.
I want to be one of the greats.
How badly do you want it? You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more, you've got to take more responsibility, you've got to deal with more ups and downs. How much are you willing to suffer?
If you want to be really great at something, you kind of have to be out of your mind, but you also have to have an iron will.
Yeah.
You don't want to work out every day.
Yeah.
There's going to be days you just want to eat cake and sleep.
Yeah.
But if you want to get past the guy who eats cake and sleeps, you don't eat cake and you don't sleep.
Yeah.
There is a period in everybody's journey where they are so different because they've started to do new things that they no longer fit in with their old set of friends. But they're not sufficiently developed that they've gained their new set of friends. And they're unsure. Should I go back? Should I lean back into getting a bag in with the boys on a weekend? Is that the highest, way that I can live my life passion forward? Because that's what everybody else does. And that lonely chapter that's in the middle is something that I would say almost nobody that I've ever met who has gone from a place where they are to a place where they want to be hasn't gone through.
Don't rely on social media. Put it down, turn it off, shut up, be quiet, learn, read, relax, get better. First part of your life you learn, second part of your life you earn, third part of your life you return.
Today I'm no longer being a loser. Today I'm going to change my path. I'm going to get on the path of success. I don't care how long that road is. I'm going to see it through no matter what. Because you know what? I've been living enough years in this hole. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not happy with this. And I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of going through the same circular motion of shit.
Set up a schedule and just do the work. You wake up one day, you feel this way. You wake up the next day, you feel another way. And it's just not helpful to base your structure or your goal on how you feel. You stick to what you put there on paper.
Every morning, every day of our lives, we have choices to make. You have the choice to stay in bed, to say, forget it, I'm not going to work out today, or forget it, I'm not going to work hard today. You always have a choice every single day of your life. So it's a very different video because yesterday I made the choice to get up early and run, but today's another day. Today's another day that I'm faced with another choice to make. So I'm making the choice again to put my shoes on early in the morning and get after it again. So make the right decision.
What's holding people back from excelling beyond average? Do you think it's talent, belief?
I think people don't do very much. I think people do a lot of talking about doing, not a lot of doing. And I think it's the doing that does everything. And I think that's and whether it's lack of motivation, lack of focus, lack of 100 different things, it just comes down to number of actions taken per unit of time. And I think the vast majority of people just wildly underestimate the volume that's required.
What do you want in your life? We have so much influence coming at us that we are so lost. We don't know what we want to do because we don't spend enough time with ourselves. You have to learn to shut off a phone, shut off a computer, shut off a TV. And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you, where I want to be, where do I see myself tomorrow, the next year from that. And it takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that nowadays because you want to be so attached to everything. You want to be so caught up with the world. The world's moving too fast. The world's moving so fast that you're trying to keep up to the point where you lose yourself in the world.
So we don't stop. If we start something, we see it the entire way through. At the end of it, even if you don't like it to the highest level, you know that you put your time, energy into something that you're at least proud that you did, proud that you were able to put a period on that sentence.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now. The main point is to find something that you are not standing still where you are right now. At least prepare yourself slowly, step by step, to get out of that hole right now.
To achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
Fired up, man. Fired the f up, man. Motivated, pumped up, man. Early still, man. Early. Some people just getting up, going about their first endeavor of the day. We've already done a few endeavors, man. We already kicked some ass. We like a taste of that. We want to kick some more ass. So the next endeavor we're doing, because we put value in our day. You repeatedly do. In anything you do.
So many people, they want to go somewhere, but they don't want to move. What do they expect? They expect us to pick them up and carry them there? No, no. What is it today that you've been wanting, but to be honest with you, you haven't yet gotten? I will almost guarantee you the reason that your want and desire is far from being fulfilled by achieving it is because you haven't taken action necessary. So today, don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Don't wish for it. Go for it. Dive, move, start, act. Trust me, it's the only way to get there.
Earl Nightingale said many years ago that 1 hour per day of study in your chosen field was all that it really takes. 1 hour per day of study will put you at the top of your field within 3 years. Within 5 years, you'll be a national authority. In 7 years, you can be one of the best people in the world at what you do with just 1 hour every single day.
Get the coffee, make the pancakes, kiss the girl, kiss the kids. You wake up, right to work.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it. But you can.
Right now in life, your family's looking for that one guy right now. They're looking for that one guy who's strong, who's that pillar for the family in hard times. Make sure they look around and find you.
Some of y'all are motivated by broke. I'm broke, I'm stuck, I'm f***ed up, I can't do nothing. Some of y'all are motivated by just wanting to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Other folks are motivated by materialistic things. It's a very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it.
What else you gonna do, man? Sit around and do nothing, be nothing, contribute to nothing, become nothing, build nothing? Because that's the other alternative. I'm just not willing to accept that as my reality.
Remember, it's not what you have, but what you do with what you have that separates winners from losers. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you that counts.
If you quit, it's really easy to predict your future. But if you don't quit, if you go for it, with no proof, you can't quantify it. People are going to call you crazy. Your friends are going to look at you sideways. But you'll have the opportunity to play in the game and stop sitting on the sidelines. And you might fail for a while. And you might have to pay your success tax. And you might have to go through 7 failures, 9 failures, 12 failures. You might be sleepless at night wondering why the heck you're doing it. But on the other side of that, you get to see who you're meant to be, who God designed you to be, and tap into your full potential, and there's nothing better.
There comes a day where being average, being mediocre, is just sickening to you because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're going to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and shit just burns, it sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your ass and you create something that's always been there.
One time I was running by a graveyard when I was just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there are so upset with how you lived your life. Now I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't die like this, bro.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be?
It's 2 a.m. right now. No one here. Mano to mano, me and you, and where we want to go tomorrow. 2 a.m. What I love about 2 a.m. is that we're not living by the clock, man. Because the clock says it's 10 o'clock time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5 time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now, and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the f*** up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not a f***ing person's here.
Don't be mad. When you're laying there in your bed, and you're in the hospital, and you're 70, 80, 90 years old, and you're thinking, man, I feel like I didn't do something. Because you did. You didn't do it. You didn't do shit.
Starving rats are placed into a tube.
Yeah.
And they have a spring that is attached to their tail that can measure the force that they pull at, and that's a proxy for desire. Then they waft the smell of cheese in from the front of the tube, and the rat pulls, and they measure how hard they want to go. And you think these rats are starving, they would be pulling pretty hard. Then they do another iteration of the study. This time they waft the smell of cheese in from the front, but they waft the smell of a cat in from behind. And the rats pull harder.
Yeah.
And what's the lesson? That you not only need to run towards something that you want, but you need to run away from something that you fear.
Time to become a man. Walk forward, peripheral vision, get it. Own yourself, walk forward with more courage, and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off.
I truly believe we are all equal as human beings. If we are obsessed with something and we truly pursue our passion with everything we have, regardless of anything else, if you are obsessed, work hard, put in the time, you will succeed. And that is a philosophy that I carry, my coaches carry, and this is hard work. This is an obsession. Nothing can beat hard work.
The easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to continue to keep going, but we have to.
You can do two things. You can run and hide, curl up in a ball, and let the world just beat you to death, or you can dig your heels in. You figure out how to, you have to figure out yourself, and then you dig in and you fight. I literally, the day we got back from Mexico, I had a quote installed on my wall. It says, "May God have mercy upon my enemies, because I won't." So let's go.
There's people out there that are just working harder than everybody else, and they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that's their grind.
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you do something worthwhile. That's how you beat the odds. You have to believe it's possible. And when you believe something is possible, everything else will figure itself out.
Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
You get up. You don't want to go run, you go run. You don't want to go swim, you go swim. You don't want to make your bed, you make your bed.
Most of the limitations we have do not exist in reality. They exist only in your own mind. And one of the starting points of great achievement is to start questioning those self-limiting beliefs and throw them off and act as if they did not exist.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
And at the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question.
Is this going to make me better? No. It goes. Is this going to help my life? No. It goes. Is this going to create a brighter future for those around me? No. It goes. And it's simple as that.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again.
The life you want is on the other side of a few hard conversations, and you're living a life you hate because you're too afraid to have them.
I don't quit. You know, I may not make it the first time, but I'll come back.
Hey, look at this dude right here. This the one who talk about all the things he gonna do but don't do it. This him. This the one who always telling everybody that he's gonna do this by the end of the year but never completes it. This is the capper. You tired of that label? Do something about it.
On your journey to self-mastery, you will lose 99% of your friends. Now, I know that sucks, especially if you're young. You think like, man, in high school we were tight. Now in college we're tight and we're hanging out. We're the boys. We're always doing the thing. But I'm telling you, the moment you truly decide to commit to self-mastery, to becoming your 2.0 self, to really elevating to the highest version of yourself, you will lose 99% of your friends. And the reason for that is you will scare them because they will not understand why you're so committed to self-development, self-actualization, making more money, becoming a better human, stopping the alcohol. You won't have things in common anymore.
Viktor Frankl has this famous quote where he says, when a man can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. So Frankl is arguing that a lack of meaning causes people to seek temporary relief in superficial pursuits rather than addressing the underlying existential void. But there is another group who suffer with the opposite problem, and this is Frankl's inverse law. When a man can't find a deep sense of pleasure, they distract themselves with meaning.
Everybody has bad breaks.
Yeah.
I've had a shit ton of bad breaks, but you know what I did? I stayed up.
Yeah.
And I thought through it, and I figured out what the I did wrong, and then I went back. It's like I've f***ed up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has. But you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through.
People who died yesterday had plans for today. You were given the opportunity to wake up this morning, and you're going to choose to be mediocre. You're going to choose to skip cardio. You're going to choose to cut the leg day short. You're going to choose to do the same things you said you were going to change. If you live a life like everybody else, never expect to be great.
Well, it's that time of year again. We start to feel real happy. Why? Because we're not going to work. If you believe in Santa Claus and you celebrate Christmas, you're looking forward to Santa Claus coming down the chimney and giving you some presents. It's a real good time of year. So in that good time of year, we start to feel real good about ourselves. So I start to feel great. So we start making promises to ourselves about, hey, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to do better in school. I'm going to be better here, be better there. But guess what happens? The real Merry fucking Christmas happens when all of that noise is gone. It's quiet. And it's you against you. And now all those endorphins are gone. And I promise you made about getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight, study harder, guess what? It's a lot harder now. That repetition becomes a lot harder now.
See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever. But it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. But if you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find an excuse.
You have to be obsessed. You have to be mission focused. You have to be driven by something greater than what average people are driven by.
Your life is exactly what you've earned and nothing more. Every single day you wake up and you make choices. What to eat, what to watch, who to spend your time with, what to spend your time doing. Those choices add up. They compound, and they end up creating the life that you are living right now. So if you hate your life, if you don't like the way things are going, stop blaming external circumstances and start looking at your own decisions. The successful people that you follow on Instagram aren't just lucky. They're not magically gifted with something that you're not. They make different decisions than you do. While you're scrolling, they're working. While you're talking about other people, they're talking about ideas. When you're making excuses, they're making progress. What you see when you look around is the direct result of your past behavior. You want to see something different when you start looking around in the future? Then you have to start doing something different today. It's really that simple. Stop being surprised by the results that you have been creating. If you want to change the output, you got to change the input.
Everybody gets one chance to do something great. Most people never take the chance, either because they're too scared or they don't recognize it when it spits on their shoes. This is your big chance, and you shouldn't let it go by.
What would have to happen by the end of 2026 for me to look back on 2026 and consider it a success?
Get serious. That's number one. I don't know any substitute for that.
You don't have to tell anybody you're going to the gym, just go. You don't have to tell anybody you're starting that business, just start.
Once you learn how to work, the work itself is self-reinforcing and you enjoy it. It's everything else that you didn't know you were going to have to sacrifice so that you could get back to working.
Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you going to do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was going to miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me nigger, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now. It's solely on me.
When a man can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure.
Never wait on the right time, because the right time ain't ever coming. All that, when we get my ducks lined up in the row, no you won't. No you won't. Because as you have aspirations, you got to understand that the devil understands your aspirations too. The devil's job is to rob you of your destiny. So there will always be an obstacle. So if you're waiting on the right time, you'll never make the move. You have to go. See, devil, he only has one job: to rob you of what God intended for you to be. That's his only job. So he has a lot of people that work for him full time. They're called haters. And they at work all the time. And you all experience with them too. And so what you got to do is, when you have these ideas of greatness, you got to go forward. Because it's not going to be a right time. Just go. Just go. Go jump. Take a chance.